If you'd like to learn more and see a demo of the Tamron 18-400 zoom lens, then stay tuned. This video is for you. Last week I got my hands on the Nikon 18-300 zoom lens, and since releasing that video I received a lot of questions regarding the Tamron 18-400 lens, which I have right here. Now I knew that this lens has been on the market for the last year or so, but I never had an opportunity to get my hands on it until now, and that's thanks to the folks at Robert's Camera. When I returned the Nikon 18-300, I asked about this Tamron lens, and it just so happened that they had one in stock. Now Tamron makes this lens for both Nikon and Canon bodies. The one that they had in stock was for Nikon, so I paired this up with my D3400. Now this lens right here also has an autofocus motor built into it, which means in the Nikon world, this lens will play well with anything in the 3000 and 5000 series in addition to 7000. Now, I have not taken any shots with this lens yet, but I can tell you by putting this on the camera that the zoom on this feels very, very smooth and the lens itself feels really solid. So I'm looking forward to stepping out in a few moments and really demoing this lens. And like I do with my other videos, I want to start off by level setting. Today, it's relatively cold, and by that I mean it's around 30 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's a little warmer than when I did the review on that 18-300 lens. We also have quite a bit of wind, so I'm tucked behind this berm right here trying to shelter myself so you can hear me a little better. Now I'm going to step out and we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm not sure where I'm going to go just yet, but I'm really going to do my best to put this lens through the paces. Now I'm going to shoot in RAW, and for the most part I'm going to stay in aperture priority, but I might get into shutter priority and maybe manual. It just kind of depends on the scene. And I also want you to understand, I want you to look in the upper left-hand corner of these images for all that metadata. That metadata is the juice. That'll tell you the settings that I use to take that particular image. Now I'm going to post the shutter speed, the aperture, the ISO, and more importantly for this lens right here, the focal length. That'll tell you whether or not I was at 400. 400 looks like this right here. It's kind of the height of it, right? And at 18, which will be something like this. Now, I fully expect at 18 we might get a little warping and a little vignetting, but I'll test that, and we'll have a lot of fun doing so. Now, once that demo is done, I'll let you know a few final thoughts that I have on this particular lens. With all that said, let's just jump right in and have some fun. I enjoyed shooting with this lens, and I actually finished up late last night. This is the following day, and it gave me a chance to process these images, take a closer look at them, and put together a few final thoughts. Now, I've shot with a lot of lenses over the years, and I can tell you that this lens right here feels very well built. It feels solid, and it doesn't shake, rattle, or roll in the hands. Now, I took a lot of those shots at different focal lengths, and so I was zooming in and out, and the zoom doesn't feel like it's too tight or too loose. It feels like it's just right. Now, something to note is that the manual focus ring is on the outside of the lens here. And this is a little different story. This feels like it's a little tight to me. It's not buttery smooth like I've experienced with other lenses. Now, I don't do a lot of manual focus, but it's just worth noting. Now, on this lens, there are 3 switches here. One of them is the locking switch. It's right here where my finger's tapping. Now, this is used to keep the barrel back in the housing and prevent the barrel from creeping. What do I mean by that? Well, when you have these super zoom lenses, if you turn them upside down like this and say you have a neck strap on and your lens is dangling around, sometimes these barrels will creep out of the housing. Now, in my testing, I had 0 issue with that, but also keeping in mind that this is a new lens. So over the course of time, this may start to wear and that locking mechanism becomes a little more important and nice to have. Now, the other switch on here is the autofocus to manual switch, so you can override autofocus if you want. And the third switch on here is VC. Now, this is the vibration compensation switch, and you can turn this on and off if you want. In the Nikon world, it's very similar to VR. Now, for all these demo shots, I left the VC on, and I can tell you that it worked very, very well. I took one of those demo shots on the top of a building. It was that statue. It looks like it's golden. And when I had the VC on, it really helped to steady that shot. When I flipped it off, that image as I was trying to compose it at 400 millimeters was all over the place. So VC works really well with this lens right here. Now, as I mentioned before, I fully expected to see a little bit of warping and vignetting at the 18 range. And similar to the Nikon 18-300 lens, I went back to that same wall and I took a couple of shots. I'm going to go ahead and show those to you right now. Let's see what they look like. Now, if you take a look at the top here in the bottom of this image, you'll see the warping that occurs here at 18. And also take a look at the corners and you'll see a bit of vignetting. Now, I went ahead and took another shot from the same location, zoomed in at 400 millimeters. You can see that there's just a little bit of vignetting here, but there's not much warping that goes on. Now, this is to be expected with super zoom lenses, and again, the world of post-processing, you can easily correct that warping and the vignetting as needed. Now, I post-process in Lightroom, and Lightroom has a profile for this, so it makes it very easy. And keeping in mind that if you're not taking a shot with a flat landscape of some sort, like a lake or a seascape, then you're probably going to be okay. It's not something you really pay attention to unless you have straight lines in the image. And if you do, you're at 18 and you don't plan to post-process, just try to keep those straight lines somewhere in the middle of the image, and I think that'll help you out. Now, many of you will want to know, would I purchase this lens right here, and how do I feel this compares to, say, that Nikon 18-300? Well, I really like this lens, I gotta tell you. I mean, this gives you an extra 100 millimeters of reach over that 18-300. The lens is also less expensive, and I feel that it has a slightly better build quality to it. Now, it's just my opinion. I feel that the resulting images between both lenses are very comparable as well. I tend to like manufacturer equipment over third party, but in this case, I've shot with a lot of Tamron lenses and I also shot with Sigma lenses, and I feel that they put out very good products. So if it's up to me, I'm going to give this serious consideration. Now, I'll post a link in the description below as to where you can get this, and if you have any questions, post them in the comments and I'll do my best to help you out. Now, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel. It's called Real World. More often than not, I post videos about photography and technology, but you never know. So until the next video, take care of yourself and be safe.